I didn't scream. I didn't throw things. I didn't even ask why. I just left. No arguments, no begging, no dramatic goodbye. I packed my bags, filed for divorce, and disappeared from her life as if I had never existed. That was a year ago. Since then, I built a new life. A better one. One where I didn't have to wonder if the person beside me truly loved me. Then, out of nowhere, she found me. Tears in her eyes, voice shaking. She whispered the words I once would have given anything to hear. I made a mistake. Please, give me another chance. But here's the thing. I had already given myself the only second chance that mattered. We weren't perfect, but I thought we were solid. We had history 6 years together, 3 years married. I never doubted her loyalty, never thought I had to. She was my best friend, my partner, the person I trusted more than anyone. And trust, it's funny. You don't realize how much you've given someone until they break it. I worked as a project manager. Long hours but good pay. It gave us a comfortable life. My job required travel sometimes a few days, sometimes a couple of weeks. But I always came back home. Always made time for her. And she acted like she understood. At least that's what I believed. The late nights started gradually. First, she had a demanding project that kept her at the office until 10 p.m. Then, she was grabbing drinks with coworkers. It wasn't unusual. She was social, outgoing. But I noticed the shift. The way her tone changed when I asked questions. The way she avoided my eyes when I told her I missed her. The intimacy faded too. Little things. The way she used to reach for my hand when we were walking. The way she used to text me throughout the day just to check in. Those things disappeared. And I told myself it was just stress. That marriage wasn't always exciting. That I was imagining things. But doubt doesn't just disappear. It festers. It grows. Then, one night, everything changed. And there was no coming back from it. It was a Thursday night. I had just gotten back from a 3-day work trip. I was exhausted but excited to see her. At night in together. But when I walked into the house, it felt different. The lights were dim. The air smelled like expensive cologne that wasn't mine. The wine glasses on the counter caught my eye first. 2 of them. One still half full, lipstick smudged on the rim. My stomach tightened. Her name, no answer. I walked toward the bedroom, my heart pounding, my mind racing through possibilities I didn't want to consider. Then I heard it. A low murmur, the sound of hushed laughter, followed by the rustling of sheets. I stopped at the doorway, staring at the half-closed door. My body felt frozen, my hands clenched into fists at my sides. I knew what I would see if I opened it. I didn't need to. But I did anyway. And there she was, in our bed, with him. The man she swore was just a friend. The man whose name had come up one too many times in casual conversation. The man I had never once suspected until that moment. They didn't see me at first. I stood there, gripping the doorframe so hard my knuckles turned white, watching as my wife laughed at something he whispered in her ear. Then she turned her head. Her smile vanished. For a split second, I saw panic flash in her eyes. She sat up, clutching the sheets around her like that would somehow erase what I had just seen. Her mouth opened, but no words came out. I didn't say anything. I didn't ask why. I didn't give her the chance to lie to me, to twist the story into something it wasn't. I turned around, walked out of the bedroom, grabbed my keys, and left. I didn't slam the door, didn't yell, didn't throw accusations. Because some betrayals don't need words. Some betrayals are loud enough on their own. I drove for hours that night. No destination. Just roads, headlights, and the sound of my own thoughts hammering inside my skull. I wasn't angry. Not yet. I wasn't even sad. I just felt empty. I didn't check my phone. I knew she was calling, knew she was probably texting, leaving voicemails, scrambling for damage control, but I didn't care. By the time I pulled into a motel parking lot on the other side of the city, I had already made my decision. I wasn't going back. The next morning, I found a lawyer. No second guessing, no hesitation, no long, drawn-out conversations about why she did it. I didn't need to know, I didn't want to know. She had already shown me everything I needed to see. The process was fast. No kids, no joint business. Just paperwork dividing assets and signatures that turned us from husband and wife to legal strangers. She tried to fight it. At first, she was defensive. It was just a mistake, it didn't mean anything. Then came the excuses. I was feeling neglected. You were always working. We lost our spark. Then came the pleading. Please, don't do this. I love you. That's when I finally laughed. Not because it was funny, but because she really thought those words still mattered. You don't cheat on someone you love, I told her. Then I walked out of that office without looking back. I left the city a week later, packed what I needed, sold what I didn't, and moved across the country. No forwarding address, no final conversation, no social media updates for her to track me down. I wasn't running from her. I was just erasing her from my life. For the first time in years, I felt free. No more second guessing. No more wondering if I was enough. No more trying to hold on to something that was already gone. And little by little, I started to rebuild. New apartment, new job, new routines. I focused on myself, hit the gym more, took up hobbies I had long abandoned, and I learned something in those months of silence. I wasn't the man she cheated on anymore. That version of me, he was gone. And the man I had become, he didn't need her anymore. For a whole year, I never looked back. Until one day, she found me. It had been a year of silence, a year of healing, a year of finally feeling like me again. Then, one evening, as I was leaving my usual coffee shop, I saw her. At first, I thought I was imagining things, that my mind was playing tricks on me. But then she turned and our eyes met. And just like that, the past caught up to me. She stood near the entrance, her posture hesitant, her face worn. She looked different, not because of time, but because of regret. The confident, careless woman I once knew was gone. What stood in front of me was someone who had finally realized what she had lost. For a moment, we just stared at each other. Then she took a step forward. "Hey," she said, her voice softer than I remembered. "I've been looking for you." I didn't reply, didn't move. I just waited. She shifted on her feet, as if expecting me to make this easier for her. But I wasn't going to. "Can we talk?" she asked, her tone unsure, almost desperate. I exhaled slowly, studying her face. But I already knew what she was going to say, knew why she was here. "Why now?" I asked. She swallowed, hesitating before answering. "Because I made a mistake." I nodded, more to myself than to her. "Yeah, you did." Her lips parted slightly like she wanted to say something more, but the words never came. "I thought I wanted something else," she admitted, voice trembling. I don't even know what I thought, but I do know that I ruined everything." There it was. The truth, wrapped in regret, delivered too late. She wasn't here because she missed me. She was here because she lost what she thought she had with someone else. And when that didn't work out, when reality didn't match the fantasy she chased, she came looking for the man she had thrown away. But I wasn't her backup plan. I wasn't the safety net waiting to catch her when her mistake collapsed beneath her feet. She took another step forward, her fingers twitching like she wanted to reach for me but wasn't sure if she should. "I never stopped loving you," she whispered. That's when I almost laughed. Not because it was funny, but because I knew better. "No," I said evenly, shaking my head. "You don't come back to someone you love after cheating on them. You come back because what you left for wasn't as good as you thought." Her face crumbled. She tried to speak, but I had already given her all the time she deserved. I took a step back, widening the distance between use distance that had existed long before I left. "Take care of yourself, Emily," I said, my voice calm, final. And just like that, I turned and walked away. As I walked away, I didn't feel the way I thought I would. No anger, no sadness, no bitterness. Just peace. She stood there, frozen, watching me go. Maybe waiting for me to stop. Maybe hoping I'd turn around. Maybe expecting the man she once knew to hesitate, to reconsider, to give her another chance. But I wasn't that man anymore. She had already lost him. I stepped into my apartment building, pressed the elevator button, and waited as the doors closed behind me. And with them, I closed the last chapter of that life. The truth is, she didn't come back because she loved me. She didn't come back because she missed me. She came back because she lost what she thought was better. Because she was alone. Because the fantasy she chased wasn't as perfect as she thought it would be. Always been there before, but not this time. She was finally feeling what I had felt a year ago. Loss. But the difference? Mine had healed. Hers was just beginning. Some people don't regret cheating. They regret losing their safety net. She didn't come back because she truly loved me. She came back because she lost what she thought was better. And when her world crumbled, she went searching for the one person who had always stood by her. But the thing about betrayal? It changes you. I wasn't the same man she left behind. And the person she was looking for? He didn't exist anymore. When someone truly loves you, they don't put you in a position where you have to wonder if they do. So, if they ever come back, remember this. They don't miss you. They miss the way you made them feel. And that's not love. That's regret. And regret? That's not my problem anymore.